Tesla stock, holy smokes, this ain't no joke, because it just does not end. The stock is getting annihilated again here today, down over 8%. Again, it seems like every day the stock's down 8%, now down over 71%, almost 72% this year, okay? Two massive things came out here today that I want to talk about, because I know a lot of people are looking at the stock and trying to figure out what is going on, where's the bottom, those sorts of things, right? And two big things came out here today. I want to talk about each of those things, how significant they are for Tesla's numbers, if they're going to matter that much. I'll share all that in this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. As always, it is absolutely insane, the fall of Tesla this year. It's been incredible. And you look at a day like today, down another 8% plus. You look at the other big tech stocks. I mean, most of these stocks are not even down that much today. Most of them are down, 0.2%, 1%, something like that. The only other big tech related company that's down a lot today is Nvidia, down 5%, right? And it's just Tesla's just taking the cake every single day, it seems like, in terms of the downside, right? Now, do keep in mind, sometimes it's important to zoom out a little bit, right? Tesla in the past 5 years is up 444%, and that's after this epic 72% decline this year. Think about that for a moment. 444% in the past 5 years, and that's after a 72% decline this year. That's why sometimes it pays a little bit to zoom out, right? In the past 10 years, Tesla is up 4,800% in the past 10 years. If we compare that to the S&P 500 over the past 10 years, yeah, it's not even close. S&P 500 is up 161% in the past 10 years, which is a decent return over a 10-year span for the S&P 500. Very respectable. Tesla's up 4,800%, and over the past 5 years, Tesla's up 443%, 444%, somewhere around there, right? Versus S&P 500 up 43%. So basically, Tesla has 10x'd the market in general, right? So, like I said, sometimes you got to zoom out. There's a lot that everybody's caught up into in the short term, and on top of that, margin calls, you got options problems going on out there. You got tax loss harvesting. I mean, there's so many various things that are affecting Tesla. Super negative in the short term. Sometimes it pays to just kind of zoom out a little bit and see how things are going, okay? Now, I did see this in Vegas yesterday. I took this picture. I had to post this up for you guys, okay? A new Tesla on the road. I know they're saying none of them are selling, but anyways, I did see one out there, okay? First piece of huge news out here. Used Tesla prices dropped nearly 20% as flippers can't find buyers. The days of paying a premium for a used Tesla are seemingly in the rear view mirror. Oh, pun intended, definitely on that one, right? As demand for the pioneering electric vehicle plummets, supposedly, the price of used Tesla has plunged 17% in the past 5 months, from a peak of $67,000 in July to $55,000 in November, according to a Reuters report. Wow, two reports out of Reuters here today. Interesting, okay? The other one's even bigger. During the same period, the overall price of used cars dropped just 4%. Oh, don't worry, they'll drop a lot more. Don't worry about that, okay? That's a far cry from Tesla's revved up sales during the Rona, when demand led buyers to pay more for a used EV rather than wait months on a wait list for a new one. Now, this wasn't just a Tesla issue, by the way. There's a lot of other auto manufacturers that were definitely in that same realm, right? Nearly a third of used Teslas for sale in August were 2022 models up for resale, a sign that original buyers were aiming to flip, analysts said. That compares with about 5% of other brands on the used market, right? Well, yeah, if you got something that has a ton of demand and you can flip it for money, people are going to make money. Like, that's just bottom line. Like, if people see any sort of arbitrage in the economy out there, right, they're going to flip things. It doesn't matter if it's Pokemon cards or it's couches or it's Teslas or it's homes. At the end of the day, if people can find an arbitrage of, like, I buy this thing and then I sell it a few days later, a few weeks later, a few months later for a profit, people are going to do that, okay? Stocks, cryptos, doesn't matter what it is. Like, people are going to do that, right? You can't sell your current Tesla for more money than you paid for it, which was true for a lot of the past 2 years, said executive analyst at a car website. That would reduce demand for new Teslas, right? Now, first off, as a shareholder of Tesla, I actually like this. I understand it could negatively affect short-term numbers, but at the end of the day, like, I don't think it's a healthy thing to have a bunch of flippers in the market buying Teslas, Model 3s or Model Ys or whatever, and just hoping to flip them for profit. I don't think that's healthy, right? I don't think that gives you a real understanding of where demand is at. It's just kind of like, No different than the housing market, or if people are flipping iPhones or whatever like that. It can inflate numbers in the short term. In my opinion, it doesn't, it's not healthy for the long term numbers. And it's just people trying to do arbitrage out there and risking, buying a car at whatever price, Tesla selling that, and then trying to flip it right onto the market, right? This man right here, let me be very clear. He's single-handedly trying to kill everything like this in the economy, okay? All this stuff you've been hearing about for the past number of years, flipping houses, flipping cars, flipping just about anything, making profits, right? NFTs, we watched that crash, crypto, stocks, everything. That man, you just saw on your screen, Jerome Powell, he's killing all this, okay? There will be nothing left by the end of the Fed's actions here, essentially. They're literally, and they've said this. He said this many times, just maybe in a little more professional language, I guess you can say, that they're going to kill demand for everything. Everything, okay? So there will be no such thing by the end of this thing of flipping anything for profit. Anything you buy is going to be suddenly worth a lot less, which is actually pretty normal for the economy. Like usually that's how it works. You buy a phone, and as soon as you open that phone, it's worth less money. You buy a car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's worth less money, right? Homes, they do appreciate over time. Sometimes they could depreciate in the short term, right? But usually those just appreciate over the long term, but it's not normal to buy a house and a few months later it's worth 5% more, 3% more, 10% more. That's not natural, and that's what was going on in the housing market, right? Heck, you could have probably bought a golf cart and made a profit on a golf cart. Like that's just the economy we're in. Super unhealthy, super unnatural, right? You buy a stock, it's up 10% the next day. You buy a stock, it's up 5% the next day. You buy a stock, it's up 20% the next day, right? Crypto, blah, blah, blah. Like Jerome Powell and the Fed is killing all this, okay? And so this is just, it's what happens, okay? There's nothing Tesla can do about it. And there's nothing Elon Musk can do about it. This is a Fed out here just killing all these sorts of things, right? I posted this photo up. I don't know if you guys saw this on my Instagram. I posted this up the other day. This was on, I think it was Christmas Day, and one of my neighbors was flexing hard, man. Whew, they got some cars out there, and I don't even know too much. I mean, obviously I know Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I know this is a Porsche, right? But I don't know too much about the models. And one of my friends was telling me that he was trying to tell me that one of these Lamborghinis was like an $800,000 Lamborghini. And he was basically talking about, we were talking a little bit about the Lamborghini market and how, like they're still trading at premiums. Like if you have one, you could sell it at a premium. And he was even telling me like, I think a Lamborghini Huracan he could sell it for more money or something like that, right? And so it's an interesting conversation about kind of these supercars, and they're still trading at these premiums. And I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this, even the illustrious Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, might actually, you drive it off the lot and it's going to be worth less money, okay? Which is, I know, it's a crazy concept to think, but guess what? That's how reality actually works, okay? You shouldn't be able to buy a Lamborghini and suddenly the Lamborghini, you could flip it for a $75,000 profit or $100,000 profit. Nowhere should that be like realistic, right? You shouldn't be able to buy a Rolex and suddenly the Rolex you could flip it for a $5,000 profit. That's not normal. That will be killed. That was a problem of the cheap money era. The let's throw everything out there. Let's slosh as much money as possible, right? Jerome Powell and the Fed is killing all that now. They're the ones that helped inflate this whole bubble, right? And now they're the ones that are popping it, and it's thing by thing by thing by thing, and there will be nothing left. You will buy a Rolex, and immediately that Rolex will be worth less money. Crazy concept to think, but that's the reality. You will buy a purse, and the purse will be worth less money right away. You will buy a Lamborghini. Well, I hope you buy a Lamborghini. That's cool for you, okay? Buy a Plaid instead, because just remember, okay? My neighbor might have been flexing with all those cars, but just remember, my wife with 3 kids in the back seat could beat those cars and dust them in the Plaid, okay? With 3 kids in the back. Just remember that, okay? Exclusive Tesla. Oh, this one's big, okay? Exclusive Tesla to run reduced output in Shanghai in January. What a lot of folks feared is now seeming to come true. Look at this. Somebody posted this in the Discord chat. Tesla plans to run a reduced production schedule at its Shanghai plant in January, extending the reduced output it began this month into next year, according to internal schedule reviewed by Reuters. How do they get all this information? That's what I always want to know, right? Like, how much do you need to pay to get this if you're a Reuters reporter or whoever? Like, who are you paying for that, man? Somebody's leaking stuff, right? Tesla will run production for 17 days in January between January 3rd to January 19th and will stop electric vehicle output from January 20th through January 31st, for an extended break for Chinese New Year, according to plans seen by Reuters. Ooh, interesting, okay? Now, this is what obviously was a lot of folks had kind of feared about, obviously, at the end of the day, Tesla, if they really had insane demand from that plant, they would try to, be running max production, because we've seen it in the past. When Tesla's got crazy demand going on, basically they run that plant as much as they possibly can, as many shifts as they possibly can, right? To increase production as much as possible, right? And so, I think this goes even to a bigger thing than Tesla, right? It kind of shows you there's maybe weakness in the Chinese economy right now, to be quite frank. And I think this is why the Chinese government's starting to freak out, and why they're even starting to try to pull back the restrictions they had on Roni Ronan and those sorts of things. Obviously, the public protests and those sorts of things are part of it. But I think another part is, I think China realizes their economy is just starting to fall off the rails in a pretty massive way, right? And just think about this. If Tesla has their plant closed down, right, for a week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever it is, right, obviously it's going to be less hours if there's folks that are hourly employees there, right? That's just something to kind of keep in mind, in my opinion. Right? And, how many other companies are doing this, right? If Tesla's doing something like that, how many other companies are doing that? So I think that's some interesting food for thought. And there's also a, report that was out that Tesla's kind of shut down production for the week we're in right now, that they've shut production as well. Okay. I don't know if that's true, but I've seen some of those reports out there as well. And some of these things conflict each other. But nonetheless, that's a situation we have going on there, right? And it's killing Tesla stock price. Now, in my personal opinion, when when going into essentially 2022, Tesla was valued very silly, in my opinion, right? And I sold some shares, and I thought it was just, it got way overvalued. And I spoke about this time and time again in late 2021, right? I mean, the company went into this year at a $1.1 trillion market cap. And every single financial metric you looked at, whether price to sales ratio, forward P, trailing P, everything was just trading very, very overpriced, right? Now the stock's at about a $350 billion market cap or so, which is silly undervalued now. So we've had a company in a matter of 1 year, think about this for a moment, in a matter of 1 year, that went from extremely overpriced, you're paying way too much for that stock, to now it's way underpriced, it's way oversold, and it's a great buy for a long-term investor like myself, right? And that's extraordinary, because you've seen it all in a matter of a year. And that doesn't, usually you don't get to see a stock go from insane overvalued to insane undervalued all in a matter of a year. But 2022 has been a different sort of year, okay? Very, very negative, right? Now, something I talked about a lot this summer, and for the people that watch my channel, I was speaking about this a ton this summer. I kept talking about essentially that we can't even dream to bottom this market out until Tesla and Apple got hit heavy, right? And if we go back to the summertime, Apple was hardly down. Tesla was holding up way too good. It was down like 20-something%, which didn't feel like nearly enough damage for that stock, right? And I kept saying, we're not even going to be able to dream to bottom this market out until we get those ones down, and down significantly, okay? Now, Tesla's done his job, okay? It has done his job this year. It doesn't mean it can't go a little lower here in the short term over the next 1 to 2 months, but it's gotten heavy work done, okay? Apple still, I think before it's all said and done, Apple will be down 50% plus from where it started 2022, okay? So Apple, unfortunately, still has a ways to go. I think there's a potential, if we hear pretty bad numbers out of Apple and pretty bad guidance, anything around guidance for 2023 is in a not a good place. I think that could be the thing that sends Apple down to that 50% type down number there. But yeah, it's never felt like a bottom to me till these ones got heavily damaged. Tesla's done the big work. Apple, you're next up, baby. And it's already obviously started with Apple, but it's got quite a bit further to fall. And there's one last thing we're going to need to fall before we can actually bottom out this market, okay? Tesla's done the job now. We got Apple, and we got one more thing. Dow stocks, okay? You're going to see a video coming eventually that's going to be called McDonald's stock is a bubble. And it's going to go into not just McDonald's stock, but a lot of these Dow stocks and how they are a massive bubble right now, and they will pop. And that is the last leg down, and it's very similar to what we saw 08, 09. The last things to fall were a lot of the Dow-related companies, and that's exactly what we're going to see play out in this situation as well, in my opinion. And so I'll definitely go into that. Now, I'm going to likely post a video tonight, and if you're in my private stock group in the Discord chat, check out the video I posted in Breadcrumbs. It goes through all my Tesla projections for the next 5 years, all the way from my ultra bear case to my ultra bull case. But I'm going to post a video here on YouTube likely tonight that goes into all my numbers for the next 5 years from my base case, which is kind of like, you know, the okay, let's just call it that, the okay scenario for Tesla. Not great, not good, not bad, not horrible, the okay. And so be on the lookout for that. And I think that's a good video that's needed out there right now because a lot of people are so caught up into what's going on with Tesla production over the next six months that I'm like, people are missing the next 6 years, right? And so we'll go over that and kind of look at numbers, and I'll show you my projections, all sorts of things. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video as always. I appreciate everybody for joining me. Thanks for being subscribed. Much love as always. Let me know if you're buying Tesla stock or not, and have a great day.